Hi, my name is Caitlin Paget and I am the founder of Redefining Sobriety. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about the holidays and how to deal with a family member's drinking. So if you found your way to me, you know that a lot of the work that I do is specifically supporting people to change their relationship to alcohol on their own terms. That being said, it's also really important to talk about the fact that we often come in contact with family members or people during the holidays who might have issues, their own issues with drinking. And that can be particularly challenging, especially if we're newly changing our relationship to alcohol, or if we have changed our relationship to alcohol in the past few years, or even longer than that sometimes. And then, the holiday season can really bring you face to face with previous patterns that you might have had, maybe give you a different insight into how you ended up being the way that you were, or some of your family patterns around drinking. So it can be really challenging sometimes to be back in those situations that are potentially really triggering. Or have you confront certain parts of yourself or your history and the people in your family, and maybe bring you up a little bit more against why things worked out the way that they did. So it's a challenging time of year, no doubt about it. It's challenging no matter what, and then when you throw alcohol into the mix, it can potentially be even more challenging. So I wanted to record this video for you just to give you a little bit more support and some thoughts around how to really approach this. If you've already changed your relationship to alcohol, or you're actively working on changing your relationship to alcohol, how to approach other people in your life, especially family members if they are drinking. So one of my favorite kind of slogans, or I guess philosophies, that I learned when I was in the Al-Anon program, which is, for those of you that don't know, the Al-Anon is a program that's based on 12 steps, but it's specifically for family members and partners and relatives of people who have alcoholism or a serious dependency on alcohol. And one of the things that we learned in that program was that we really cannot control anything. We can't control other people, other places, or other things. So what does that leave us with? It leaves us with ourselves. So while it might be really tempting, and we really might want to, out of love and having other people's best interest at heart, want to help them change or see that they could do things differently, it's really often not our place to do that. And I think the holiday season, more than any other time of year, is really a chance to just practice on focusing on what you can control, which is yourself. And so this is the time to just level up completely with your own self-care, with your own rituals, with taking care of your own mental and emotional and spiritual health, because the stronger you are and the more you're in your center and your power, the easier it will be for you to then deal with all of these other unknown factors or known factors that you can't control, which is everybody else and everything else. So really focusing on yourself is the most important thing you can do during the holiday season. And it's really about being an example too, and just being one of my mentors would always say, be a lighthouse, not a tugboat. So this is a really good time of year to practice being a lighthouse. Just be the light, be the example, without preaching, without being condescending, without trying to force your beliefs on anybody else or tugboat them, pull them along with you. Just allow yourself to be in your place, in your power, in your light, and that's it. That's sometimes the most important and powerful thing that you can do, is just leading by example, being the lighthouse, and not trying to tugboat other people into change if they're not ready or willing or open to doing it. The other thing to just remember is that this is a really hard time of year for so many people, and including your family members. There might be stuff going on the surface that you're not even aware of. And so as much as you might see the time, now that we're together, we're over the holidays, we have more time together, it might be time to have that deep heart to heart or really let them know how you've been feeling. It might also not be the right time. So just being aware that maybe this season is just enough as it is, with all of the different factors and potential stressors, and now is not the time to really go deep into that deeper heart to heart. Of course, if you feel into the situation, it feels like the right time, then go for it. But just acknowledging that there might be, it might be better to wait until the holidays are over to really approach certain topics or have a deeper conversation when the emotional space is available to do that. It's also really important to know, again, coming back to you being in your own power, is that you ultimately get to decide what you do and what you don't do and when you do it and for how long. So if family situations are stressful, family gatherings are stressful, if being around other people who are drinking more than you want to be drinking is stressful, then you have the power to either opt out early, you can make another plan, or you can, just say you only have childcare till a certain amount of time, or that your kids have something else that they need to do, or that you have another plan, or just that you're really trying to get as much sleep as possible, and just let them know, give them the heads up before you go to the event or the person's house that you're probably going to be leaving early. This is a really also great way to not have to be around when there's a lot more alcohol being consumed, or when things might be uncomfortable for you. You can also, of course, just completely opt out altogether and just decide not to go. This is within your power. We forget that sometimes, but you don't have to go to all of the family gatherings or social gatherings or events. Another thing that you can try is planning alternatives. So instead of it always being centered around food or alcohol or being somebody's house, you could say, let's drive around and look at the lights, or let's go to a park, or let's go ice skating, or let's do, different activities that are earlier in the day or that are outside and don't necessarily involve alcohol. So that's another great way to plan alternatives. You can also bring drink alternatives with you. So you can bring non-alcoholic beverages. You can, again, be the example, be the lighthouse, choose not to drink, offer up other delicious, yummy alternatives that don't have alcohol in them, and then just be you and not to worry too much or try to control too much what's going on around you. The other thing is that sometimes it can be really difficult to be in these pressure cooker, intense type family dynamics. So another way to remind yourself that you are in control of you. Again, you are in control of you. That's it. That's your only responsibility, is yourself. And then of course your kids, if you have kids. But we're really talking about even taking care of yourself in order to take care of your kids differently. Is that you can take, I call it take 5 or take 10. And what does this mean? It means go to the bathroom, use different techniques to check in with yourself, or go into a spare bedroom, or go outside for a little bit. Just if you're feeling that you're starting to feel anxious, you're starting to want to control what's going on around you, the dynamics are getting challenging, other people's behavior is getting challenging, just come back and reconnect to your center. And you can do that through tapping. I have a video that I'm posting, or might have already posted by the time you see this. So check the list of videos. It's a tapping video. It's a really short routine. You can try that. You can even just try tapping on the side of your hand, right? Like this. And while you're in the bathroom, just saying, even though this situation is really stressful for me right now, I love and accept myself anyways. Even though my family dynamic is not what I want it to be, and people are drinking way more than I'm comfortable with, I love and accept myself anyways. And just go through several statements like that. And we call them the even though statement. So even though I'm feeling this way, I love and accept myself anyways. Even though I wish things were different, I love and accept myself anyways. And you can just do that tapping on both sides of your hands, and it's a really powerful reset. You can also pray. You can also do a minute or 2 long meditation. You can use essential oils, putting a drop on each one of your palms and rubbing your palms together, and inhaling deeply and just doing a few deep breaths. Anything that you can do just to reset, just to recheck in with yourself. Again, come back to your center, come back to the only thing that you really have control over, which is you. It's just remembering that you can do that, remembering that you can take a step out of a situation, that you can ground yourself, that you can recenter. So bathroom breaks are a really good way to do that. And finally, what other people think about your drinking is none of your business. So this is a challenging one also sometimes, because often people in our families and people close to us can be quite opinionated about whether we're drinking or not drinking, if we're cutting back on alcohol, if we've decided to quit alcohol. And it's challenging also because as much as we want to or not, these are the people that ultimately, in a deep way, we often value what they think about us more than anybody. So especially if they're not agreeing or aligned with the changes that you're making, it can be really hard. But it's just really important to remember that each person has their own path, each person has their own story, each person has their own timeline, and yours is yours. And so if you've decided to stop drinking or cut alcohol out of your life, that's your choice, that's your path, that's your timeline, and that's great. And you keep celebrating yourself for that and honoring yourself for that, and try to detach from what other people think about it. Because they might have opinions, they might have strong opinions. And as I just mentioned, those opinions are none of your business. You know, it can feel like it can feel very personal, and it can be really hard. But ultimately, your decision to cut back on alcohol or to not drink is your decision, and it's your business and only your business. And what they're choosing to do is theirs. And so again, just coming back and doing all the things that you can do to affirm your choice, to affirm your decision for yourself, to be proud of yourself for making these changes, and let them think what they're going to think. The most important is for you to feel good about yourself and the changes you're making around alcohol. I created a workbook that hopefully will be of service to you for this holiday season. It has some different activities in it, and just really getting clear and preparing and learning how to take really good care of yourself through the holidays. So you can download it from the link beneath this video. I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear what you think of this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well, so that you can receive notifications whenever the videos go live. And I'm sending you so much love through this holiday season. I know that it can be really challenging, and I just want you to know that I'm really proud of you for being here, for trying to make these changes that you're making. And please let me know if there's absolutely any way that I can support you.